Welcome to the Power Portals of Avalon. So, in these videos I've been sharing with you, it is all about those sacred locations, the potency and the power, and how you can work with these energy places. Gospel of Marie. So, today we actually have a little bit of a double whammy because usually it's like one location and then obviously the backstory Gospel of Marie. Today you have actually Joseph Arimathea and Brigid. So I'm going to get into the significance of their sacred sites, or one of them, at least one of their sacred sites, because they have many, and their connection with Avalon, right? But first of all, let me just share with you, that the exciting reason for all of these videos is, as you know, my work is deeply steeped in Egypt. Hence, the tablets of light tour in Egypt it is all about the fire, the Heka, the magic, the medicine, all of the things. But Egypt has a sacred counterpart, which is the natural law of the universe, right? Because we have to have opposing forces. So you have Egypt with all the fire, and then you have Avalon, which is the water element. So we have, it's very, very divine feminine, very much to do with healing, restoration, stillness, just being in the amniotic fluids of the womb. And that's what brings the death, rebirth, and resurrection cycles into its fullest. And it's going to be where you embody the mother energy so much. It's a very, very different energy to Egypt. However, they are sacred counterparts, which is why there's tablets of light Egypt, tablets of light Avalon. So when the two are woven together, divine balance, harmony, connection to spirit, everything is just in flow. So this video today, I'm really excited to share with you because the location, okay, this here to this side of me, this location is known as Wearyall Hill. And I will talk about Joseph Arimathea very, very strongly here because this holy thorn is the holy thorn of Joseph Arimathea. Now, sadly, this was actually vandalized. And anyway, that's a whole nother video, whatever. Don't want to bring that energy in. But this is when the holy thorn stood, and it's been replanted. So it's still there. And it's divine when you come to this hill because it's full of all of the little ribbons that they put into the trees and the branches. It's a wishing tree, so the energy is so beautiful up here. And as you can see, there's the tour in the background. The view is sublime. So now, back in the day, all of this land was full of water. So when you approach the land, you would be doing it by boat. So back in the day, when Joseph was bringing his holy family to the lands, one of the times, because he'd been here many times before, when he floated up to this land and he climbed onto this bank, which was probably a much smaller mound, much smaller hill, you can imagine how weary and tired he was, hence the name Wearyall Hill. So he climbed onto the bank with his people, with the Holy Family, and he he put his staff into the earth and was like, boom, this is where we will stay. And as he did that, that's exactly where the Holy Thorn grew, which is why it's so significant and sacred and powerful, right? So when he landed here, it was an intention setting, put his staff into the ground and said, this is what we're going to do. So when I bring us to this place, we sit and we think about our intention, because it's like when I go to take my peeps to Egypt, the first place we go to is the Great Sphinx, because that's all about mission and purpose, intention, all about those things. So this is the version of that. Wearyall Hill is exactly where we belong, where we begin, and that's where we will start our journey. Just like Joseph Arimathea, and look what he was stepped on to achieve. He built the biggest abbey, which is Glastonbury Abbey in the world, the biggest monastery. And like I said in other videos, build it and they will come, and it's about trust, faith, and all of the things. But it started here. He was like, this is what's going to happen, and this is how we're going to do it. So it's an incredible energy to be able to connect with when it comes to charging your intention when you're stepping onto the sacred lands of Avalon. Now, moving to my other side now, which location-wise is called Bridie's Mound. Okay, as we know, St. Brigid and Joseph Arimathea has sites all over the world, but with connection to Avalon, Bridie's Mound, which is just across the way from Wearyall Hill. And to the naked eye, you will walk there and you'll go, well, there's nothing much going on here. It's like a pregnant belly, this little mound that emerges from the woodland. So there's no big temples or things like that. It's just a mound. But when you go there and you sit, the stillness and the presence of the mother, it even feels like it has its own weather system, because it's quite magical and out there, but you just come there and you just sit. And that is Bridie's Mound. And there's been lots of archaeological discoveries there. But for us, we go and sit on the mound and we just sit in stillness and, reflect and receive healing. And when I went there, I received probably one of the most powerful healings that I've ever received. And all I did was lay with my womb on the ground, and I just lay and I just allowed the energy of St. Brigid to come and assist me with some very deep traumas that needed to be released and processed. And that's exactly what happened. And I'm still in awe as to how little I did and how much I received. But that's the divine feminine. You don't have to do spade work or anything like that. You just need to open to receive, right? So those are the two places: Wearyall Hill, which is a sacred pilgrimage site, which starts the initial intention, and then of course Bridie's Mound, which will bring you deep, deep healing. Now, Bridie's Mound will, if you want to reflect on that, what is St. Brigid all about? Well, for me and all of us, I think it's all about fertility, like a lot of the goddesses. So birthing anew, passion, which brings passion projects, poetry, which is very similar to Ceridwen, and she will instill this kind of like sense of renewal, this want and need to be reborn again. And that is what the month of February is actually bringing us. And I'll probably put that into an energy update somewhere, but like just to give you an idea and a feel of this very, very powerful goddess. I mean, she is not a solar deity, but she's deeply connected to the sun and fire. So as we know, when fire is around, it's all about transformation and, and alchemy. So, and as we know, I'm deeply connected to Sekhmet. So it's all very much the same. Are we getting to an understanding that all is one? I think we might be. So when we visit Bridie's Mound and when we visit Joseph of Arimathea, we are just open to receiving their medicine. And they, with intention, that's all you need, is you connect with these beautiful, beautiful guides. It's your family. Part of your family. It's your golden council of light. So when we connect with them on the lands and we kind of almost walk in the steps that they did, there's that merger, that oneness wisdom that comes in. And then think with Avalon, it's just that deep, deep sense of stillness that brings on the power of healing, which is very different to Egypt, because Egypt is a very sort of like masculine fire energy, whereas Avalon is very much soothing and just, and I will just leave you with this. My experience, Gospel of Marie, the reason I was guided to hold groups in Avalon was because at one point I was very, very deeply just, Egypt, kind of almost pigeonholed. Egypt is the way. And that left me imbalanced. And when I started to come back to Avalon, which interestingly enough is actually from the area where I'm born, funnily enough, I went back to the origin source in my human life, right? When I came back there, albeit reluctantly, that's quite interesting, isn't it? Albeit reluctantly, I then immersed myself in the Avalonian energies and received the healings. And what it's actually done is completely exploded, exacerbated, taken up to level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, my power of Egypt. So I thought I was doing pretty good with my powers and my channeling and my gift of insight and all that kind of stuff, and my connection to the gods and goddesses there. And then little did I know, coming over to Avalon and really like connecting with the deep, deep divine feminine energy within, it actually ignited my absolute power in Egypt. So now it's one big kaboom. Actually, I feel like I'm like Brigid right now with my fire. With all that going on. So it may be the same for you, that you've got all of this power and energy in one area, which you have so much love for. But then there is a time where you have to ignite that, just like Yeshua did with Mary Magdalene. He came to be ignited and activated by her. And then the dance ensued. And that's how it's supposed to be. So is Avalon possibly your activating factor for your divine gifts, which are maybe sort of imbalanced in the fire? Bringing the water does not put out your flames. Bringing in the water brings divine balance and just ignition onto the next level. And that's it. And that's all. So I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you feel called, this is actually a priestess group, first of all, but I will be doing other groups where we will be, men and women, because that's really important as well. So I'm putting a call out to the men. Get in touch. We need you to step in and complete this divine balance that we're all one. So with that, many blessings. Have a wonderful day forward. Peace.